The Genshin Impact community has developed some unwritten rules that we all subconsciously follow without even realizing it. In this video, we will uncover the unwritten rules of Genshin Impact Co-op. I will describe each of them and explain to you why this rule was created in order to protect our Genshin Co-op world. Starting with the first unwritten rule. This is actually not a rule, but a command. When you are in someone's world, please never, and I mean never, steal people's resources. If you need materials to raise your characters and you join a co-op world, please always ask for permission before you take any of the resources. This includes berries, flowers, mineral, and chests. Oh wait, you can't steal chests. But this is just common courtesy, so just follow the rules and don't be a rude person in Genshin. Speaking of a rude person, the second unwritten rule is when you request to join someone's world, never ever spam the join requests when you are not getting a response. Because there's a 9 out of 10 chance that they are not AFK, but just choosing to ignore you. Some people just want to chill and play Genshin in peace. Or maybe they just hate socializing. So just get a hint and leave them alone. But if you really want to co-op in a world for whatever reason, only request to join once or twice. Now let's swap over to the other side of things for unwritten rule number 3. If you want people to join your world, you'll probably write a signature saying need help with bosses or anything similar to request help from others, right? I could not count how many times people have that signature, but still deny my request. So, yeah, don't put that signature if you don't need help. Or maybe you just forgot to change the signature. So hopefully when you finish watching this video, go double check what you wrote on your signature. While we are on the topic of signatures, unwritten rule number 4 is never write something vulgar on your signature. Remember, everyone can see what your signature says, so please keep it family friendly. It's always nice to help others, and unwritten rule number 5 is all about helping others. If you're playing Genshin and have some free time, join some low AR level players and just help them out with stuff. We all remember our first time playing when our character have trouble doing some hard quests or domains. It is always helpful to have someone that can one-shot everything to speed up the farming process. Unwritten rule number 6 is technically not an unwritten rule, but common sense. Be nice and courteous to your fellow Genshin players. Don't be toxic and rude to people you meet in co-op just because they are using a chi-chi while you're on a hutao. We all have bad days, but you shouldn't take out your frustrations on other people. Cause games are meant to be fun, not stressful. While we are on the topic of toxicity, unwritten rule number 7 is don't tell people to swap off a character just because you don't like them. Just let people play whatever they want to play, because at the end of the day, people hate getting told what to do by someone. Even if the character is not meta, will cause the run to be slower, you just have to accept the fact that you chose to co-op in domains, so you're not always gonna get a fast run. However, there are times when someone have to switch off, which gets us to unwritten rule number 8. If you and someone else both happen to pick the same character for a domain, there are 3 factors that decide who gets first dib on the same character. First, if you are the host and you are already on, let's say, Farina, you get to play her. Second, if you are in character select, and after you swap, you see someone on the same character as you, you have to switch because you are slower. Lastly, if you and another co-op member both choose the same character at the same time, whoever has the highest level character gets to keep it. If they are both the same, go compare the weapon. But this brings us to unwritten rule number 9. If you and someone both chose to play the same character in a co-op domain, and you have another character that will work, you should just switch even if you have a better build. Because you might never know. That might be their best character. Whenever I run co-op domains, I'll bring out my wailed out Malvika to help anyone struggling. But if someone wants to play the C0 Malvika, I'll bench my C6 Malvika and let them have fun. Co-op loading times is the number 1 reason why people don't like to co-op. So unwritten rule number 10 is when you are loading into a co-op world, move around a bit so that the host knows that you've loaded in. This will tell the host that you are not stuck on the loading screen. So if they start a domain, you won't get left behind. And of course, unwritten rule number 11 is if you are the host, make sure to wait until everyone is loaded in by seeing if everyone is moving around. Before you start a domain, if they're not moving, just constantly poke and attack them repeatedly until they give you a signal. So next time as a host, you can be the best host on Genshin and won't ever leave anyone behind again. There are some ways you could tell if someone is loaded in, even if they're not moving. But it's just easier if you move and don't go AFK to grab a snack. Unwritten rule number 12 is all about communication. In co-op, if you join someone's world and instantly teleport away without saying anything, odds are you're gonna get kicked out. Don't try to sneak resources without even saying hello or asking, because you will be caught. This is not only extremely unethical, it is also illegal in Genshin. Even though I said communication is important, it is also important to know that when you are in a co-op world, there are some secret communication tactics that you should know. Unwritten rule number 13 says if someone is jumping, you have to also jump. This is a secret greeting sign and a signal on how they tell you're cool. and you will automatically be respected. So remember, jump to say hi, jump to say when you're ready, jump to say thanks, and jump to say goodbye. This of course brings us to emotes. Unwritten rule number 14 is to communicate with emotes if you don't want to type. These emotes actually have so many usage to them that the majority of the communication in co-op is from emotes. Oh yeah, and if you die, you have to use Chi Fallen. Speaking of secret codes, unwritten rule number 15 is if someone places an albedo flower, you have to stand on it. Don't resist, you will stand on it whether you want it or not. It is no longer your choice. This goes to the same for Ventis' Wind Current or Zhongni's Pillar. Unwritten rule number 16 is another secret code. If you are playing Diluc and spotted a Kaya player in the wild, you both gotta spend several seconds spamming attacks at each other. The next rule is for you mobile gamers. Unwritten rule number 17 is if you are playing co-op on mobile and just want to leave the world, make sure to leave co-op before you tap out of the app, or just properly exit the game please. If you tap out randomly, the host will be locked into the co-op. The next rule is a more specific rule. Unwritten rule number 18 is don't break the crystals in the corners when you fight Signora. If you don't know, these crystals don't respawn, so if you break all of them and don't kill Signora fast enough, you will wipe unless you can out-heal the DOT. Another simple rule is to remember to have fun. Genshin Co-op is designed to be a fun mode that you play when you're tired of bowling slimes by yourself. And there is no better way to share that happiness by doing it with someone else. And that was the final unwritten rule of Genshin Co-op. Let me know if there's anything I missed in the comments. And until next time, I will see you in a random Genshin Co-op.